Good afternoon, folks. I'm going to talk about. I'm going to pretty much will do the analysis of the Ohio State versus Notre Dame game. And plus, we're going to talk about the geometrical angle of this. How things could have gone, the way they could have gone, and the way it should have gone. Now, we all know pretty much well how Notre Dame had it all made. They had the game under control with just little 4:30 left in the game. 2 first downs. They took as much time off the clock as they wanted. Another first down. First it was a passing first down. Then a running first down. And then a sack. Then Ohio State took a timeout. Then Notre Dame runs. Third down. More time running off the clock. Ohio State doesn't use a timeout. That was Ohio State's first timeout, actually. Then Ohio State uses. Then they tackle again. Third down. Actually, that's fourth down. Excuse me. Notre Dame punts the ball with 1 minute and 36 seconds left. And then it took like almost 3 minutes off. It lands with 10 seconds go off after that punt. 1 minute and 26 seconds, Ohio State with the ball. They take literally 1 minute and 25 seconds off the clock, all the way down to the end zone. That intentional grounding with 15 seconds, if Ohio State didn't waste that timeout, they would have done a lot more than normal. That would have been a 10-second runoff, all the way down to 5 seconds. Ohio State chose to use that timeout to avoid that, with that intentional grounding. So, what Ohio State did, some cord. Honestly, they did like a few different plays, and were successful. Touchdown. Then Chip Tramian gets the handoff with 3 seconds. 2, 1, end zone touchdown. They went to review, not necessarily to see if it was a touchdown, to see how much time was on the clock, if it was even worth kicking the extra point. Obviously, he broke the plane with only 1 second left on the clock. So they had to kick the extra point. Obviously, when you kick extra points, no time goes off the clock. Only when you kick a field goal, it does. So he kicked the extra point. Extra point is good. So, score 17-14, they kick the ball off, it goes out of bounds. Voila. So, ball's at the 35 by penalty. So then they went to play. Those like maybe 10, maybe 15 yards, I can't really remember. They kind of do like different plays. They kind of do like hook and ladders. Maybe like one. Then he throws it back to the quarterback. Almost the original line of scrimmage. Maybe not quite that far back. Maybe about a yard or two before the original line of scrimmage. Then the quarterback throws the ball. So even if they would have ran it all the way back, that would have negated it. So he threw the ball. So if he was behind the original line of scrimmage, that would have been incomplete. But since he wasn't, and supposedly this was a live ball and everything, that was incomplete. He landed on the ball. Technically, as they call it, a fumble, and he landed on the ball. Game over. But since they said it was a forward pass, incomplete, so flag on the play, illegal forward pass, penalties decline. So they gotta call it incomplete. So they they called it fumble, but not necessarily. But they pretty much will call it a incomplete. But if they did pretty much will call it that, it would have been the touchdown would have been negated because of the illegal forward pass. So, with that being said, game over. Ohio State wins because the penalty occurred after the 1 second expired. So it pretty much went right into the hands of Ohio State. Ohio State played the game very smartly when it came to coaching perspective. Now, how did Notre Dame literally almost beat Ohio State? Ohio State had a 10-0 lead. It was literally 3-0 right before half. Ohio State could have kicked the field goal, make it 6-0. Logically. Now, they could have made another touchdown going right in there. That there would have made it 13-0. Then Notre Dame comes back and scores 2 more touchdowns. That there makes it 14-13. We'd be singing a different tune right now. We'd probably be kicking a field goal with only like those few seconds left, maybe. And we'd probably kick it all the way in the end zone instead of like that spoochy kick that we attempted just so they touched the ball. And sure enough, that kick would go all the way to the end zone. And they kick a field goal, we win it. 16-14 would be the score right now. But it didn't turn out that way. But hats off to Ohio State. They played a very good game. Both teams played a phenomenal game. But Michigan were thieves. They stole the running game from the Michigan playbook. They mixed things up. They would put different players on. If you watch 2021 and last year's game, they would switch different players in and out. When Blake Corum was still healthy before he tore his ACL, I mean, we really couldn't stop the running game for diddly squat last year and the year before, but when Blake Corum was still 100%, they would switch him and they would switch Edwards out and Donovan Edwards and Blake Corum out constantly and change the running play up constantly. Then they would throw the ball around when they thought we would be running. And look, sure enough, it worked. It killed us. We could not stop the pass. We could not stop the running game. And when we thought they would run the ball, they would pass. Because we had their running backs covered. That's literally what went on here. They almost had the same game plan. They stole the exact same playbook from Michigan. They literally had the same playbook from Michigan. I literally watched it in total disappointment both years in a row. I mean, they literally... Then we made dumb mistakes, played dumb mistakes from the line of scrimmage. We controlled the line of scrimmage from early all the way till the late third quarter. Then they just started running it down our throats. Then they controlled the line of scrimmage. We controlled the line of scrimmage early. Then they controlled the line of scrimmage. But overall, we played a really good game. Nothing to be disappointed about. We had more yardage than they did. And nothing to be disappointed if you're a Notre Dame fan. I mean, I'm not sure how you'll do against Duke. I think you'll have a very good game against Duke. Best of luck to you. I hope you win. That's literally how I feel. I mean, you played a very talented team out of Ohio State, and you're a very talented team. I really think both teams were good and talented. Now, if you specifically think where there's any weaknesses in either team, USC will challenge you. Will challenge Notre Dame specifically. Because it had nothing to do with the 10 players being on the field on the final play when Ohio State was on the field. Ohio State literally had them beat. Ohio State had, the 10 players had nothing to do with it. I understand there was confusion, but it's not like they were running backwards and and confusion. They had it all made. They expected it to be almost like a sweep play to the side like they did earlier when they stopped them on 4th down, but they didn't. They ran straight up the middle and got a first down. That's how that played out. And hats off. Hats off to them. I mean, but now Ohio State's off this week, so now they just got to prepare for Maryland next week. Michigan, on the other hand, they got to prepare for a very talented Nebraska team who's won 2 and lost 2. So this is going to be a challenge and a half for Nebraska and a talented game for Michigan. Now, if you're Michigan, you're going to start playing your better game. I mean, that's the issue right now. They haven't played their best. I mean, I feel like they haven't played their best because considering they're supposed to be the best team, they've only put up 31, averaging 31 points a game. And honestly, Blake Corum's only had 351 total rushing yards this year. And Donovan Edwards has only averaged 109 total yards, which I feel like they should be putting up more yards considering the opponents they've played are like weaker than what they are. They averaged like 60 to some odd points last year against this good team. Now, granted, they are a really good team, but I thought the defense would be better than this. But with that being said, enjoy the games you watch today. I'm going to be watching Michigan and Nebraska, and we'll have our discussion about that after today. And we'll talk about what went on and the yardage of J.J. McCarthy and his accuracy about that and the yardage they put up. With that being said, and Ohio State's defensive numbers as well. With that being said, I'm out of here. Peace. Hit the like button, hit the bell for notifications. With that being said, I'm out of here. Peace.